Hey everyone, making another video to go over some coins and um, just looking at the overall market as a whole. I'm going to start with Bitcoin and make my way down. I'm not looking at too many coins, I'm just looking at the strongest ones that I'm interested in. I'm not going to be involved in taking many of these coins as plays, but the first one I'm going to be looking at is Bitcoin, right? So I gave this to you guys in the Discord and an overall general plan that I had for it on Twitter as well. I said that we were going to head over into the 25k, meet with resistance, and then we are going to be ranging from 25k to 20k for the rest of the quarter. I still think that is the case. So as you guys saw in my previous video and Discord, like we previously or we perfectly hit rejection here, right? We took out this liquidity here at the highs, right? We swing failured, closed below. Now, 25k is still very strong resistance. I still don't think we're going to break through it in the second go. So if we do go back here, you can possibly take a scalp short. But however, I'm already short from this area. I still think that we can come back down to this level here. There's a whole, we may first bounce from this level, so 22k to 21.4. We may bounce from there. I have my bids a little bit lower just in case, but you can still front run this. You can, there's a little demand zone here that you can take. It's actually a order block that is very valid. So if you're going to scalp this, you can place bids at 22k, stop loss around 21.25, and this would be a scalp short, so you take this back to like 23k. My major swing play on this one is around 21. Basically, once if I get stopped on the first scalp, 21.2 down to about 20.5k. That's where I'm going to be entering, and my stop loss is around 20.1k. I'm going to be taking that back to resistance here, 25k. I still think we're going to be ranging from here. We have the reason I'm taking that scalp play is because if we can hold trend, we should be bouncing from it. But if we lose trend and turn it into resistance, right, then I still think we can take this and go higher. Now, there is a scenario that we can go much lower. So I want to see reaction from this area, but 18.5k is still very viable, right? We have a whole bunch of liquidity here, and this was previously we broke out from this area, right? But we never retested it as support. So there is still a lot of buyers that were bidding this retest that never got it. So there's a lot of liquidity here as well. However, I'm going to be placing those two scalp plays. Well, scalp play here at this order block, and then we have this long play that I'm willing to swing back into high time frame resistance. I'm still short here. If we do go back here, possibly you can take another short, but this time if we do show up with volume, it's going to blast through it. I do think that we can go to 28.5k for sure. There is a supply zone here, but not on the second go around in my opinion. I do think once we get to this area here in a higher time frame, then we're going to go back down. This is a very high time frame resistance, and I do think that if we get here, it's going to be a very harsh rejection. So currently short on the market with Bitcoin, and I'm trying to write this down to about 21.2k as a swing play. Close my short here, flip long, and then play this range over and over again. If we are taking a look at this on a lower time frame, if we do decide to build up a range here, it's going to be bear flagging, okay, where we can take a low time frame scalp, like a very low time frame scalp. It's going to be at 21 point, basically 22 650 ish. The risk to reward isn't there for me. Um, it's a 1.88 risk to reward. The reason I'm playing here is it's because it's a support resistance flip, right? This was resistance here, like we broke down and we broke it on the first go attempt, and I was hoping we'd come back down and retest it before we had broken up, right? But we never did. So if we do come back down here, it'll be an SR flip. If we are able to flip it to support, then we will go much higher. But that's why I'm going to take a quick scalp here. My stop loss might be a little bit tighter, so probably 22.4, and then play that back to 23.5. So this would be a quick scalp play. I'm risking maybe like 0.5% of my portfolio. It's a $200 stop loss, and if we were able to flip it to support, right, come back down, flip it, that would trigger my long. Stop loss is very tight, and go from there. Otherwise, I gave those two other scalp plays that we'll go ahead and try. Taking a look at Ethereum, we went back into high time frame resistance, right? We took out the highs, and closed below. We swing failured. So what I'm looking at is if we can get this retest here and reject, right, on the daily, I'll open up a short, stop loss above this wick. It's a very tight short, so I'll get in at 17.15ish if we reject, and I'm going to be writing this down all the way to, I would like to be writing this down all the way to 13.15, so right there, sorry, 13.55. However, a great place to get long we can try a long scalp here back to high time frame resistance. So enter a long at 1542ish. Stop loss 1476. Maybe risk like 1.5% of your portfolio on this, and take this back into range highs. Now, we kind of did swing failure, so if we do go back down, I expect it to go much lower. But this would be a scalp attempt, right? Scalps for swings, you don't risk too much, so play there. Otherwise, I would like to get like max long around 1380. Here, I have this here. This is where I would like to get max long. 1402 down to 1320. Now this would put in an inverse head and shoulders. It's kind of getting in. The more we consolidate here, it's getting invalidated. But this would go back down, hold the trend, and major buy area here before we rip up. I still think we get 28, like I said, 28 to 30K before we have a major correction. So 1402 down to 1320 is a major buy zone. Let's take a look at Sol. Sol looks disgusting. No. Okay. So a place to start buying Sol, if it does go back down, is around here-ish. 18.7 and 16.1. Now, this 18.87 is a retest of the breakout, right? We had resistance here, rejected, came back down. This broke out, but we never retested it. So 18.71 should offer a bounce. Now, if it doesn't, right? If we do go back here and we don't bounce and we come to turn to resistance, then we will go much lower, creating that head and shoulders. Now, head and shoulders isn't formed until we break the neckline. Here is a sideways neckline. Okay, we lose it, turn it to resistance, and go back down, and this can go much lower. That would send, obviously the market much lower as well. But there's two areas where you can scalp this. Okay, here's a demand zone on the daily. I do give a more brief overview, or not brief, but a longer video of what a demand zone is based on my strategy and trading style. That's on my YouTube and also in the channels as well. But I would like to possibly scalp here. There is resistance here still. So I'm going to possibly enter a long around 21.42. This is a very, very small play. Stop loss at 20.5. But my main long that I would love to get, and this is going to be a spot play, I'm not going to be trading this on leverage, is I'm going to be buying Sol at 18.75 down to 16.19. Stop loss will be a daily close under 15.18, and then we're going to ride this a little bit higher. Sol is going to be weaker compared to everything else. Sol is not like a great coin in my opinion. It's a shit coin, but once it starts rolling, it does roll pretty hard. The other place where you can long this is there is resistance here, so unless we have a flip here, then you could long there comfortably, target about 33K, and place your stop loss a little bit around 22.2K. So now we're just going to be in this range. We went above, came back into this range, turned this range high into resistance again. So now you take a quick scalp play here. Scalp play is you're looking for 1.5%. Or a little bit more. So if you get this fill here and you get this move, that's plenty for a scalp. Okay, TPs are not guaranteed to hit. Otherwise, you're looking at the 18.75 level. Another coin that it just came out, Blur had the airdrop. Now, there's not much data to go from this coin. Okay, Bring this a little bit lower. So if we lose this support at 85.5 cents and turn to resistance, you'll open up a short with a very tight stop loss. Uh, Stop loss is to be determined. We need more data down here, but probably like around 89 cents. And you'll take this down to about 75 to this area. Okay. Now, you're going to keep longing support until broken. But the safer bet to play this is wait for the breakout and then successful retest. You'll enter here and then stop loss somewhere here. Okay, so wait for that breakout to happen because you don't want that fake out. Okay, this is offering a pretty strong diagonal resistance here. So breakout, wait for that candle to retest, and once you have that successful retest, retest means breaking out, breakout candle. Then the next subsequent candles come back down, touch this line, hold, close above, and as soon as you have that third candle open above, that's where you're going ahead and long with this very tight stop loss. Okay, so I'll give directions on how to play that as well, but that's how you will play a breakout retest. And then once that happens, you'll probably long this with a target of, whoops, about 1.26k. Okay, now obviously you're going to take TPs at resistance levels. So there. So if this breaks out, you'll take target at, or TPs at 98 cents and $1.12, and then your final TP will be at the highs. Otherwise, if we turn this resistance or the support to resistance, you'll short there with a very tight stop loss, and then you will target the 75-cent level, and then I plan to flip long there. Very easy invalidation here. Now this coin is super volatile, brand new, so there's still no lows set for this coin. It can go much lower than most think. That's why with volatile coins like this and very illiquid coins, you use very small position sizing. Okay, but I plan to get long around 77 to 75 cents with a very tight stop loss of 72, 71 cents, and then try to play the hype back to $1 from there. AVAX, this was resistance and we turned it to resistance. So if we go back up here to 19.5 and reject again, then you can play a short. So if we do have rejection from this area, you can short it down to this trend line down here. Now this would mean that Bitcoin and everything is going down as well. So you have to see a reaction from this level here. If we do reject, you can open up a short with a very tight stop loss. Now this is a 4% risk, right? But it's all about position sizing. So I would risk maybe like 1.5% I poured on this, and then just play it down. Now AVAX runs if Sol runs, but until that happens, it's very, very weak. I don't like this coin for longs, so I won't give a long, but invalidation for this short is very clear. Last but not least, Matic. Matic is very strong. I would not try to short this coin. Currently it is at resistance. Okay. So two areas where you can long. There is a daily OB here, order block. Let's draw these resistances. Now this depends on how far Bitcoin comes down, okay? But I would love to position myself in a long around 1.24 cents and stop loss around 1.13. Now this would be a spot play for me. I don't want to get into this unleveraged, but if I do, it's going to be small position sizing because the stop is way too wide, right? I would get in stop. If I don't get this fill and we just keep continued ripping from here, it's just breaking down resistances after resistances. Then I'm going to wait until it flips this resistance to support. And then I will flip long here with that as a target. If that happens, then my stop loss will be around 1.35 and I'll target this next resistance. I would like to flip short here or open up a hedge with a very tight stop loss. And then if it does flip this area, right, and rejects here, then I expect this range to form. Obviously lose this range and go back into previous range, then you can add to your shorts there. But right now, Matic is very strong and should not be shorted. You're going to wait until to short at clear levels of rejection. There is a demand zone here as well. So this is a major buy opportunity for Matic if we do end up going down here, around 1.4 cents down to 92 cents. This is a major buy opportunity. Again, this is for spot, but right now it's creating higher highs, higher lows, higher highs. So I expect rejection from here. That's why I would like to play this area. Lose this and keep going further down means markets are going down tremendously. Be a great buying opportunity here for another higher low, and then just keep ripping. But currently it's creating an ascending triangle. We should reject from this area. I'm not going to short it. Matic is strong, but we should offer some rejection down here. How far we go, not sure, but this is where I would like to get long, around 1.24 cents. Otherwise, I will get long as soon as we flip this to resistance. So those are the coins that I'm currently looking at. I'm just waiting for a more clear and concise trigger for Bitcoin. Like I said, I expect Bitcoin to range from 25K down to 21K over the next month and a half. We could get a deeper pullback to about 19K. This area right here, 18.5K. So again, it's going to be chop city till then. If Bitcoin does pull back, alts will get a hit as well. I will do a deeper dive in like a long-term analysis on Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance with the dollar ripping and everything, and show you guys how that plays out as well. But these are the only coins that I'm currently looking at with setups, and we'll go from there. Thanks, everyone.